Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Minneapolis Police Chief Madera Arredondo is calling on the city's police union to reform the department after the killing of George Floyd. During a 60 Minutes interview on Sunday night, Arredondo blamed the police union, its contract, and its leader, that's Lieutenant Bob Kroll, for making reform difficult.
He and others are going to have to come to a reckoning that either they are going to be on the right side of history or they're going to be on the wrong side of history, or they will be left behind.
In an interview you'll see first on CBS This Morning, we spoke with Lieutenant Kroll and 3 fellow union leaders yesterday. That was Rich Walker Sr., Cheryl Schmidt, and Anna Hedberg. Can I get your response to what the chief said Sunday night?
We believe that our membership that we are elected to represent has been unfairly scapegoated by political leaders in our city and our state. And they have shifted their incompetent leadership, failed leadership, onto us and our members, and it's simply unjust. So here is our opportunity to hopefully set the record straight. We will be on the right side of history.
Before this incident happened, we had some great conversation occurring with the city leaders and with the chiefs, and we were making some good progress on the contract. So it's just dumbfounding to me that one incident, we become the scapegoat to having a bad officer.
Let's talk about the incident, because it has certainly become a global conversation. I want to know from each of you what you thought when you saw the video of George Floyd and Officer Chauvin.
That's part of the problem, Gail, is we were not allowed to see the video. The administration broke our policy, which gives us the ability to review the video. So we were blindsided. We only saw the social media video. In all other officer-involved critical incidents, we're entitled to review. And what I've seen of it is only what the public has seen on the cell phone, and it is horrific.
How much more do you need to see to determine, to come out and say that this is not all right?
Any human being that watched that knows that that shouldn't have ended the way it did. But we also know that there's more to the story. They say he never resisted in the statements released. We don't know if he never resisted, because we haven't seen from the time the officer stopped him until the point where he was on the ground.
But are you all saying to us that you can't really make a comment about this case until you see every piece of video associated with it? Is that what you're saying today?
We would just like to see what we are entitled to in our agreement, in our policy, is our officers' body camera footage. It may shed some light that we're unaware of. Right now, we cannot make an informed decision regarding the other officers that do not appear on camera.
Okay. Can you understand why that answer, what you're saying right now, is extremely upsetting to people who have seen this case, heard the charges, looked at the tape that we have seen? Can you understand from the public point of view why it's upsetting?
Certainly.
Because it feels like, guys, it feels like this. It feels like the blue wall of silence again, that we're not going to say anything negative about a fellow officer, even though what you're looking and seeing with your own eyes seems especially heinous and especially egregious.
Certainly, we would love to have seen more. We saw the initial statement from the administration, which was wrong. And this has been a failed exercise in leadership here. And we wish we could have an early opinion in this, but it's up to the administration to stick with policy and give us what we're entitled to under policy. It does look and sound horrible. I completely agree with you, Gail.
How do you think the situation should have been handled with George Floyd that night?
I'm not one that likes to Monday morning quarterback things. If I was there, I probably would put him on his side in a recovery position. Once he went unconscious.
But let's address really the elephant in the room, how black people feel in your city, that black men are under siege by white police officers, and that they're targeted in a disproportionate rate.
I think absolutely the media's push is to drum up as much racial issues and stress as there is, not acknowledging the fact, I'm not denying the fact that the city needs to grow.
Is it a media problem?
I believe.
Rich, is this a media problem, you're saying? The media created this?
What I'm saying, Gail, what I'm saying is the narrative that is being pushed in the media is that white police officers are out on these streets just to kill black men, and that is absolutely farthest from the truth. Yes, we have encounters with civilians in the city that turns for the worst, and that's my actual problem with some of what Black Lives Matter. I actually believe in what Black Lives Matter stand for, but it should stand all the time, not just when a police officer or a white police officer or an Asian police officer has a fatal encounter with an unarmed person. We are not defending the actions of Mr. Chauvin. What happened to Mr. Floyd is a tragedy, but we weren't out there. And what we're saying is the narrative needs to stop. It needs to stop. Police officers are not out here just randomly hunting black people to kill them. That's just terrible.
Yep, we think that's terrible too. All of the officers felt very comfortable, as you see, sitting close to each other during the interview because they told us that they're all quarantining together. We should also note that Lieutenant Bob Kroll is married to anchor Liz Collin of our Minneapolis station WCCO. So he has an idea about how the media works, and they were all very forthcoming in their opinions about what they had to say. Right now, the negotiations between the police chief and the union are not happening because the police chief has broken off negotiations with the union, which is interesting when Lieutenant Bob Kroll said to us yesterday that he and the chief are actually good friends, that they have a good working relationship, and he's hoping, because you can't go anywhere without the negotiation. I was surprised to hear that.
It's the best relationship he's ever had with a police chief. Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that, so we'll see. Hopefully, the two sides have got to figure out a way to get back to the table.
Yeah.